as soon as we recognized that that risk worth taking was about the education of young people for whom this is it, this is my shot, it was worth it. And all of it driven by fear of the unknown. That's how we survive, by being afraid to start. So that crisis management was really about constantly asking ourselves, what do we know from the science? And how can we respond given what we don't know? And how can we do that together in a spirit of cooperation instead of just going into fetal position and saying we can't do this, right? That was a case of really trying to recognize that as communities, we had power to respond. And we might get it wrong sometimes, and there were some seriously high stakes, and it was a risk worth taking. And as soon as we recognized that that risk worth taking was about the education of young people for whom this is it, this is my shot, it was worth it. And it was the largest wildfire in the history of New Mexico, and we had to get everybody out, everybody evacuated. And it was really a moment of, first of all, you don't do a whole lot of, gee, should we do it this way or that way? You move. You do the part you have in order to make sure to get these young people and the rest of the campus community off campus safely. But we also provide water to a number of the homes on the mountains, also felt responsible for communicating to them what was happening. So there's the part of the leadership that's all about snap decisions based on the limited information you have. I think where the learning started was really when we found ourselves in a camp, a number of miles down the road, where our students, it took them a while to realize we were refugees in that camp. And we went from that to being ourselves refugees. And it took a while to realize that. At first, the students felt, really upset, and they'd left their belongings behind. It didn't know whether they'd get them back. And many of them ignored us when we said, bring all your school materials, because the second year students were telling them that it would only be one night because that was their experience a year ago, except it was a different fire. And so the students are kind of all, discombobulated until other refugees from the area started appearing. And these people, some of them had already seen their homes burned. So for people to have lost, their ancestral lands, no insurance to help them rebuild. And the students started seeing our neighbors, our vecinos coming and showing up. Suddenly the students stopped worrying about themselves and started asking, how can we help?